dental considerations in pregnancy. Coming to contents, we'll discuss about stages of pregnancy, systemic changes during gestation, oral manifestations, dental considerations, management during gestation, and conclusion. Coming to stages of pregnancy, it is from the first trimester, that is 1 to 12 weeks. This is a very important period of pregnancy because the fetal organ formation and differentiation occurs in this period, and it is more susceptible to adverse effects of teratogens. Teratogens are the physical agents which cause toxicity to fetus and mother, and we'll discuss about it in detail in further slides. And coming to second trimester, it is between 13 to 24 weeks. Fetal growth and maturation occurs in this. It is the safest period to provide the dental care. Coming to third trimester, it is between 25 to 40 weeks. The uterus expands with the growing fetus and placenta. The fetus come to lie directly over the inferior vena cava, femoral vessels and the aorta, as shown in the figure. Systemic changes in pregnancy. These are the changes should be known by us very importantly because they are very important for the treatment considerations and modifications. Firstly, coming about hematological changes. In this, there will be increased red blood cells, WBCs, increased erythrocyte sedimentation rate with a decreased hemoglobin concentration. Increased circulatory catecholamines and cortisol will lead to leukocytosis. Blood volume will be increased to 40%. Plasma volume will also be increased 40 to 70 cubic centimeter per kg. Red cell volume will also increase by 25 to 30 cubic centimeter per kg. There will be increase in plasma volume which exceeds the increase in red cell volume, showing hemodilution or physiological anemia of pregnancy will be seen. Hypocoagulation due to increased blood clotting factors except the factor 11 and 13 will be seen. So pregnancy is usually a hypocoagulable state where there is increased risk for thromboembolism. Next, coming to cardiovascular changes. In this, heart rate will be increasing by 10 to 15 beats per minute, and also transient tachycardia, that is temporary tachycardia, increased cardiac output, that is 30 to 40%, and hypertension may be present either pre-gestation or during the pregnancy, and supine hypotension syndrome will occur. And coming to hypertension, this condition is usually seen in pregnancy, that is preeclampsia. It is nothing but a pregnancy-induced hypertension affecting 5 to 10% of pregnancies after they have progressed 20 weeks. It is usually seen in the first pregnancy in the third trimester. It is characterized by elevated blood pressure, pathological edema and proteinuria. Next condition is eclampsia. It is the development of seizures in pregnant women with preeclampsia. The signs include renal dysfunction, edema, proteinuria, hypertension, thrombocytopenia, seizures and even sudden death. Next is supine hypotensive syndrome, that is vena cava compression. There will be decreased venous return to the heart due to compression of the inferior vena cava by gravid uterus. And 14% reduction of cardiac output, it leads to reduced perfusion of uterus, causing fetal hypoxia. This is the position. If we place a patient in this position, this syndrome will occur. In the second picture, we will see that fetus causing compression of the inferior vena cava. And the symptoms include lightheadedness, hypotension, tachycardia, sweating, nausea, weakness and syncope. How to prevent is, we have to roll patient on to her left side to lift off uterus on vena cava and 100% oxygen administration. Elevate the right hip 10 to 12 cm by placing a pillow. And this is the way how we place the pillow. To avoid recurrences of this syndrome, patient is positioned in semi-reclining manner. Respiratory changes. Diaphragm will be displaced 3 to 4 cm upward, and there will be decreased functional residual capacity of the lungs and increased oxygen consumption by 15 to 20%, leading to increased respiratory rate, and this leads to hypoventilation and which finally leads to dyspnea, that is difficulty in breathing. Next is gastrointestinal changes, that is decreased gastric peristalsis and intestinal motility will be there, leading to increased gastric acid function. Gallbladder emptying time is prolonged, causing risk of gallstone formation. Incompetence of gastroesophageal sphincter will be seen. Nausea and vomiting are common, which is nothing but the morning sickness. For pregnant patient with hyperemesis gravidarum, excessive and uncontrolled vomiting, that is morning appointments, should be avoided. They should be seated in a semi-supine or comfortable position. In case of vomiting, the procedure should be stopped immediately and the patient should be repositioned upright and antiemetic drug should be given. Renal changes. There is increased glomerular filtration rate and renal plasma flow will be seen with increased urinary tract infections and frequency of micturition increases. Sodium excretion is conserved, which maintains maternal electrolyte homeostasis. Endocrine changes. Many hormones will be increased in pregnant patients such as estrogen, progesterone, human gonadotropin, thyroxine, steroid and insulin level. This estrogen and progesterone are insulin antagonists and the increased level of these hormones will lead to insulin resistance. Thus, insulin levels are elevated in pregnant women to compensate this resistance. But about 40% of women fail to produce sufficient amount of insulin to overcome this antagonist action and thus develop gestational diabetes. This is the diabetes which is seen in pregnant women and it usually disappears after the pregnancy, after the delivery. And skin changes is chiasma. It is a symmetric, blotchy, irregular but sharply marginated, non-elevated, light to dark brown pigmentation of the face and the neck region, common in pregnancy. It is usually seen in up to 75% of pregnant women with an onset usually during the second half of the pregnancy. And this is the important question and you may get it as a 2-mark question in your exam paper. So note it down. And next is musculoskeletal changes. Lower back pain due to increased weight, painful leg cramps and a decreased stability of the joints will be seen.